It begins with a brush and some paint, or it starts with a pencil and a blank space, or before that, an image in one's mind. And before too long, a wash of color, a line, and a welling up of emotions released, called forth, let go, as if one's heart is lightened or ignited by the seemingly simple act of creation. In this AIB Presents, What Art Reveals and Heals, you'll meet several people who have used art for healing and in turn been healed themselves. Gedalia Genin, artist, Ayurvedic healer, knows the healing power of color itself.
Each of our energy centers in the body, in the physiology, in the subtle body, it's called the energy body, is of the colors of the rainbow. And just in working with the color, I think there's something unseen that happens with this color that does affect the chakras in the body. And when I'm finished painting, it's like alchemy. It's like, I feel settled. I feel, if you're not expressing a part of who you are, then it's going to create illness. I had lower back pain. I had all kinds of things growing up that disappeared when I started painting. Everything, I had bronchitis, I used to have asthma, I used to have lower back pain, I used to have fibroids. And, when I started engaging with the color and doing my healing work and doing this, all disappeared. Time passes, I feel kind of a washing away of my story, my worries. It's just like a bath in my whole being. And I just feel so good when I leave. Even if I just sit in my studio and just sit there and look around or play around with pictures that I've photographed. But when I come here, I remember who I am.
Gedalia says art helped her navigate through the grief of losing her brother Jeff and helped her face her parents and society's expectations.
What do you do with the anger or the fear or the rage or you have to channel it in a healthy way. And so this was a way in which that emotion can really move. Just I grew up, looking around, wanting, seeing, I grew up in an area a lot like Buckhead, and it was in New York and Long Island. And I just wondered why people had a lot of things, but they weren't necessarily happy. And so I, noticed that and was seeking happiness in a different way and realized that I had a lot of things too and I wasn't happy. So what really is it that makes us happy from the inside? And I really, went on this path to explore that. And that's how I got involved in yoga, and that was 30 years ago when yoga wasn't even a household word. So, and I started practicing yoga, but I still wasn't getting the inner experience that I was looking for, and then I was led to meditation. And then the meditation led me, as I said earlier, to the healing arts and to the color and finding what was within. And today I could truly say I feel fulfilled and content with what I do, and it'll only unfold. So I don't have a specific direction. I just know that everything I do for the serving others. That's my only goal in life, is to help others.
She also recalls, as other artists do, a feeling of not being good enough, a feeling that dissipates doing art.
For me, this was the one place where I never thought that way. I mean, maybe internally, but I wasn't trying to be like anyone else. I wasn't trying. I was really giving myself a place to just allow myself to be, and the result never mattered. I didn't care how it came out, and I framed it. I framed some things that I look at now, I was like, there's so many mistakes in there, but it didn't matter. I celebrated the fact that I did something with my own hands, as my grandmother did when she came to this country. She filleted fish on the Fulton Street fish market. She got on a boat from Russia, not speaking English, and had the courage and made a living with her hands. So my grandmother was always an influence to me. And, I feel and see her expressions of love, and, she helped raise me. And so she had such a great influence on my life. And so I respect the fact that she had strong hands and she used her hands to live. I love cooking, I love, gardening, I love doing anything with my hands, so, and the healing work.
And inspiration, she says, is everywhere if you stop and notice.
For a while you go through periods of, well, what am I going to paint, or what should I do, and then you just let that be, and you let yourself get inspired. Or I walk a lot in nature, and so I love seeing the beauty and the changes in nature all the time. And from the littlest things to these little buds that are coming out now, and the closed magnolias, and there's so much beauty outside. So we're in such a busy life today. It's like that saying of, take time and smell the roses. It's really true. So I really do that in my everyday life. It's really important to me to get out in nature and to look and see and feel beauty. Nature is healing. Being in this color, being enveloped in the, whatever it is, if it's cloudy or sunny or raining, this is nature. This is profound. In Bali they say everyone's an artist. They're raised that way. I think everyone has an art expression, if it's cooking or writing or daydreaming, or there's art in everything. It's not just painting. Some people can draw art. Let's say my husband always says that. He was kicked out of art class, and he said I had this horrible art teacher, but yet he's so creative in business. So I think we all have creativity. Our creativity, I think, is our divinity. Each of us are born with gifts to share. And, we go through our lives with people piling on this box and this form and that model, and stamping us this, what should I become? And then you get to a place in your life, if you're not in enough pain, like I was, to find out, who am I really beside all these things? So meditation was that step, was that move toward expressing my own self, and then realizing that self that I'm seeing is an expression of my higher self, my divinity, my gifts. So it's transforming.